Lansing, and Jackson. Countdown to kickoff 2000. Now, ABC 53 Sports Director Steve Bunin.
Hey there, thanks for joining us. We're here in the press box at Spartan Stadium. For the next half hour, we're going to go in-depth on MSU football. So if you're not a diehard State fan, I suggest you turn the channel. If you are a Spartan fan, you're going to love what you have to see. We're going to go one-on-one with Bobby Williams. We're going to see what Tico and TJ Duckett think of each other, both as brothers and as standout running backs in Spartan history. And we're going to go in-depth, breaking down the MSU offense, the State defense, the rest of the Big Ten, and of course tomorrow's game against Marshall right here at Spartan Stadium, kickoff at 12:10. But before we look ahead at 2000, we've got to look back at the magical season of 1999. 1999 gets off to a rousing start for the Spartans when Oregon comes to East Lansing. Cornerback Amp Campbell makes his triumphant return to the field, returning a fumble 85 yards for the winning touchdown. Wins over Eastern Michigan, Notre Dame, Illinois, and Iowa set up a showdown of two 5-0 teams for the annual battle with Michigan. Plexico Burris, absolutely unstoppable, grabbing 10 passes for 255 yards.
Touchdown, Michigan State!
The Spartans almost blow a 17-point fourth quarter lead, but Burris recovers an onside kick and makes a clutch third down catch to seal the win. The euphoria doesn't last long, though. Drew Brees torching MSU for 509 yards and 5 touchdowns, ending the Spartans' national title hopes with a 52-28 blowout win.
Brees across the middle, touchdown.
Things go from bad to worse in Madison, Wisconsin. Heisman Trophy winner Ron Dane shreds the #1 rush defense in the country. For 214 yards and 2 scores, the Badgers blow out the Spartans 40-10.
In the foot races, he will win.
State gets back on track with wins over Ohio State and Northwestern. That leads to the annual battle for the Land-Grant Trophy against Penn State. But the game turns into TJ Duckett's coming out party.
He's got Michigan State in the end zone. Touchdown.
The freshman runs for 159 yards and 4 touchdowns, saving the best for last with the highlight reel run to seal the win.
He's in. Touchdown.
At 9-2, the Spartans are invited to play Florida in the Citrus Bowl. When Nick Saban quits to take over at LSU, longtime assistant Bobby Williams gets promoted and turns a potentially messy situation into a historic win for Michigan State. Bill Burke is unflappable, hitting 21 of 35 passes. Burris catches a school and Citrus Bowl record 13 passes for 185 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Paul Ettinger hits 3 field goals, including the game winner as time expires.
Got it. Good. Michigan State beats Florida. Bobby Williams a winner.
Michigan State beats Florida 37-34, finishing the season 10-2 and ranked 7th in the nation. Now it's time to look ahead. Baseball fans love the long ball. Football fans love offense. But with so many holes to fill, who will provide the scoring punch for the Spartans this fall?
Now here is Scott. This time, Burke's going to try to take it deep. Burke separates. Touchdown, Michigan State.
At quarterback, Bill Burke led the Spartans to a top 10 ranking in his senior season. Ryan Van Dyke spent 2 years as Burke's understudy. This year, the team is his. The junior has the physical skills he needs to succeed in the Big Ten, but having thrown just 99 passes at MSU, his lack of experience means he'll see more than his share of blitzes.
When things start going the wrong way, you know, I'm going to find out a lot about, you know, what I can deal with.
Van Dyke's trump card to opposing defenses is stud running back TJ Duckett.
Here's Duckett. He's got Michigan State in the end zone. Touchdown.
After shedding 20 pounds in the offseason, Duckett will be a workhorse for State. The sophomore has to have a big year for MSU to have any New Year's Day aspirations.
September 9th comes, no one's going to be smiling. We're going to know we have a job to do. It's a business trip, and just, you know, take care of the business, take care of the job.
Another strength for the Michigan State offense, tight end. Both top guys are back from '99. Junior Chris Baker and senior Ivory McCoy. Baker has started every game in his Spartan career. When teamed up with McCoy in a 2 tight end set, it makes for a duo among the best in the country.
Oh, yeah, I think they're going to be depending on me and Ivory a lot this year, but we're ready to step up. I mean, we've been here for long enough.
The biggest question mark on offense is at the wide receiver position. Bobby Williams knew he'd lose Plexico Burris and Gary Scott to the NFL, but when freshman Charles Rogers was declared academically ineligible, it seriously sabotaged Williams' plans for the passing game. It also means 3 Spartans are going to have to step up. Sexton grad Sean Foster, Herb Haygood, and Lavelle Richardson. Haygood is the top returning wideout, but that isn't saying much. Between the 3 of them, Haygood, Richardson, and Foster combined for only 16 catches last year. Burris had 13 in the Citrus Bowl alone.
Touchdown! Michigan State.
There are more question marks than answers for the Michigan State offense. If the young guys come of age quickly, the Spartans will be bowl-bound for sure. But if the inexperience is too much to overcome, it'll be a long season for the green and white. We'll take a look at the Spartan defense after a quick break, but first we're going to take you to school with Football 101. You know Bobby Williams is the head coach here at Michigan State, but do you know where he played college ball? And for the all-important bonus points, they're going to come in handy later in the show, so stick around. Which position did he play at that school? The answers after the break.
Hi out there, partners. Here we are at Sundance Buick Pontiac GMC up in St. John's. Lots of trucks, and they're less money up here because of the overhead. How about a 2000 Jimmy? $330 down, $330 a month. That's a 4-door. How about a 2000 Sierra 4-wheel drive for $279 down, $279 a month? Boy, bargains galore. And here's a 2000 Sonoma for $159 down and $159 a month. If you're looking for a GM truck or a GM used truck or a Jimmy or
Sunday with stars like these and these. This is definitely television's biggest event. All the stars, all the comedy, all the drama. If you want to see who wins, you definitely have to watch.
good for you!
Gary Shandling hosts the 52nd Annual Emmy Awards, live on ABC Sunday at 8, 7 Central.
Got a kid who's mega hungry?
That's it? There's gotta be more. It's gotta be my little brother's lunch.
Make him mega happy.
Mega Lunchable! Mega Lunchable! Yeah!
Lunchables brand Mega Pack. Everything they love about Lunchables, only more.
Just that, Mom. Yeah.
Lunchables Mega Pack. Make fun of lunch in a big way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did Bobby Williams play college ball and what position did he play? Wasn't at Michigan State, but it was in the Big Ten. Bobby, a Boilermaker in the late 70s and early 80s. Second on the team in rushing his freshman year. He switched to defensive back as a sophomore, making honorable mention all Big Ten as a junior and finishing his Purdue career with 8 picks and 172 tackles. After 10 years as a Spartan assistant, he then replaced Nick Saban as the head coach before the Citrus Bowl. Now Bobby Williams is the big man on campus. We sat down recently and talked about the upcoming season, about missing Charles Rogers, and about how his life has changed. Here now is part 1 of Bobby Williams one-on-one.
What do you think it's going to be like walking out in Spartan Stadium for the first time with 70,000 eyes on you?
It's going to be a very, very emotional time, just as the Citrus Bowl was. You know, that was a very emotional moment, a very exciting game, and I expect the same thing here for this game being my first game.
What are your biggest concerns for the 2000 season on the field?
Well, you know, basically we just need to bring everything together as a team, as a unit. You know, going into that first ball game, you know, we have several new players starting for the first time. We have new players that will be playing their first college football game. So we got to get all those things out. But we have some certain areas of concern. Offensively, the receiving corps, not having very much experience there, new quarterback. Defensively, we lost some good guys on the front that really had a good pass rush. We need to get that part of it back. I felt good about the preseason camp. And then the kicking game, you know, we lost a good kicker in Paul Edinger, so we need to feel good about our kicking game early in the season.
You talked about the depth at wide receiver. How big of a loss is it that Charles Rogers can't play for you in 2000?
Well, just having him out there and developing him as a receiver, you can see he has a very, very unbelievable amount of talent. And he is, no question, I think when he does get an opportunity to play, he's going to be an impact player. So it's going to hurt us because he's he's definitely a talented receiver, and he could have been a guy that could have made several plays for us this year.
Part 2 of that interview later in the show. Now, let's talk MSU defense.
Johnson sacked. In the first to hit him, Julian Peterson.
The guy is a playmaker.
Julian Peterson, Robert Smith, Amp Campbell, and Eric Morris formed the heart of last year's Spartan defense. Their departures leave Michigan State short in pass rushing and team speed. The strength of this year's front seven is found up the middle. Junior tackle Josh Shaw teams with senior Jace Saylor to form a duo that will force teams to think twice about running it up the gut.
On our defense, everybody got an assignment, and if we do our assignment, ain't no way you can run on us, ain't no way you can pass on us. So if we just trying to perfect what we do in the summer practice and get ready for this first game.
At linebacker, Eastern High School's Josh Thornhill has got to be making his dad proud. Papa Charlie played on the Spartan Big Ten champs of '65 and '66. Josh is making his name as a tough-as-nails leader, voted tri-captain by his junior season.
There's a lot of leaders on defense, really. We're all stepping it up. The ones that were around last year are all stepping up to that next level.
TJ Turner is one of the most productive backers in the Big Ten. Number 35 moves from the middle linebacker spot to the outside, adding speed to the pass rushing unit, while at the same time keeping quarterbacks wary when he drops back.
TJ Turner intercepts and returns for a touchdown.
In the backfield, Ronaldo Hill leads the way. A team captain, Hill picked off 5 passes as a sophomore and was second on the team in pass breakups as a junior.
I was talking to other players, I won't be able to come out with you guys, you know. But I'll be out there with Mason, Thornhill, you know, holding hands, walking out to the midfield, and that'll be something different for me.
Without Peterson, the Spartans don't have that All-America guy who will make offensive coordinators restructure their game plan. But this year's unit hopes it can be more effective as a team.
I see it as a challenge. I like a challenge. You know, it's always good to climb the ladder and, you know, shock the world.
Still to come on Countdown to Kickoff 2000, a look at the rest of the Big Ten, a preview of tomorrow's game against Marshall, and we send it out to Tico and TJ Duckett showing some brotherly love. But first, time to go back to school with Football 101. If you call yourself a big Spartan fan, you should be able to get this one. How many Spartans were picked in the NFL draft this summer? If you're an old school fan, do you know the last time more Spartans were picked in any single year? Remember, a pat on the back is at stake, so stick around.
Honey, can you just pick a channel, please?
MSN Internet Access.
How about some sort of sport thing? What about
16:9 digital TV.
What's going on?
And a digital camcorder for catching all of those first steps.
Turn on the fun, Best Buy.
That's my boy.
Make your home an expression of who you are. Come in September 8th, 9th, and 10th for Storystone's Factory Rep Sale with special incentives. You'll find fireplaces and mantels, custom-fit marble countertops, landscape supplies, and more to transform your home. Do it yourself or get a free estimate on installation. You can also register to win door prizes. Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Storystone Company, with 50 years of experience on Francis Street in Jackson.
Hi, I'm North Clark for Rose City Motors in Jackson. Folks, we have something new this year. We're now hooked up on the internet. If you have bad credit or good credit, it doesn't matter. At Rose City Motors, we'll get you financed. Go to the internet, rosecitymotors.com, fill out a credit app, and we'll get you financed. Remember, folks, we're open 7 days a week at Rose City Motors in Jackson, Michigan, and we are now hooked up on the internet.
Welcome back to the show. So, how many Spartans were drafted off last year's team? It's an easy one, 7. And you know what? Each one of them made their team. Now, that 7 is the most number of Spartans picked in a single draft since 1973, when 10 guys were chosen, including Billy Joe Dupree and Brad Van Pelt. As you can see, we've moved closer to the field here at Spartan Stadium. Michigan State is ranked 23rd and 24th in this week's polls, but in the preseason polls, they're no better than the middle of the pack in the Big Ten. The Big Ten is the toughest conference in the country, and now it's time to take a look at the rest of the league and see where the Spartans stack up. We start in Ann Arbor. Michigan returns a load of talent at the skill positions, led by junior quarterback Drew Henson. He'll miss at least 2 more games while his broken foot heals. Redshirt freshman John Navarre will replace him in the interim. He'll have a Heisman hopeful to throw the ball to in the form of junior wideout David Terrell, who could also see time at defensive back. Senior tailback Anthony Thomas becomes the school's all-time leading rusher with 1,700 more yards. The Wolverines' weakness will be on defense, where they'll have 7 new starters. Wisconsin has a huge hole to fill, literally, with Ron Dane off to the NFL. His replacement, Michael Bennett, averaged better than 5 yards a carry in limited action last year, and the Badgers might just have the best defensive player in the Big Ten in cornerback Jamar Fletcher. Heisman candidate Drew Brees returns to lead Purdue. Along with lightning fast flanker Vinny Sutherland and tailback Montrell Lowe, the Boilermakers will put a ton of points on the boards, but will they be able to stop anybody?
Getting her under a blitz, wide open over the middle for the touchdown, Walter Young!
Last year, Illinois became the first team since 1951 to win road games at both Michigan and Ohio State. The Illini returned quarterback Kurt Kittner, and a soft non-conference schedule could have them 3-0 when Michigan comes calling September 23rd. The Buckeyes are coming off their worst season in recent memory, but this year could be a better one in Columbus, with quarterback Steve Bellisari throwing to speedy receivers Kenyon Rambo and Reggie Germany. Penn State has already suffered the humiliating loss to USC, and things could get rougher for Joe Paterno. 4 of last year's defensive starters are in the NFL, and tailback Eric McCoo and wideout Eddie Drummond are the only real bright spots on offense. Minnesota should be strong on defense, but will be hard-pressed to repeat last year's success. Center Ben Hamilton is an Outland Trophy candidate. Indiana will probably suffer another losing year, with do-everything quarterback Antoine Randall L. carrying the offensive load. Iowa running back Liddell Betts and Northwestern quarterback Zach Kustok have an uphill battle trying to carry their teams to winning records. Now we're going to have some fun. We're going to send it outside Spartan Stadium to one guy who's all over the MSU record books and his baby brother, who is well on his way to doing the same.
Thanks, Steve. Once again, we're back here. I'm with TJ, the Diesel Duckett. My name is Tico, nothing touchdown Duckett, has been. But no, really, we're just here having a good time. It's a couple of days before the game, and we just want the public to know a little bit about TJ and myself. TJ, I don't want to talk too much about him. He's right here, but give us, I'll tell you what, TJ, tell us about Rocket Football. Rocket Football. Tell us about maybe your first game that you can remember in Rocket Football.
First game I can remember, we had to weigh in, and I was overweight with my shoulder pads, so I had to take all my equipment off, basically in just in my underwear, and step on the scale, and I barely made it by 2 pounds. So I was allowed to play my first game. And the rest of the team, the other team was excited at first because they heard I couldn't play. And they slowly turned to, you know, sorrow. But but it was a fun time, and I had a good game. Was nervous, had no clue what I was doing. Just run football, making tackles.
And I would have to say that I remember at that time, you were bigger than everybody, faster, bigger, faster, stronger, and the teams were very happy that you couldn't, that you might not be able to play. TJ, there's some things that the fans just really, you know, they really don't know much about you. What is your favorite color?
My favorite color is black. Black's my favorite color. I love the night. I'd rather be out during the night. It's just a time where you can relax and not many people know who you are at night.
What are your favorite foods that you like to eat? You can't lie, because I know.
A big juicy steak with potatoes and lots of sour cream.
So you heard that, Outback. You better be careful when he comes to town, because he will eat you out of business.
Which 3 states have produced the most current Spartans? In other words, on this year's team, where do most players come from? And for the bonus points, any idea how many Spartans are homegrown? Is it 30, 40, or 50? The answer when we return.
Another real difference from ABC 53 News Now. Every Tuesday at 11, join Claire Cameron as she takes you behind the badge of Mid-Michigan's men and women of law enforcement.
Put your hands behind your back.
See the stories that just might change the way you look at cops.
We're a lot more accessible to the public.
Real stories, real people, a real difference. Behind the badge, every Tuesday at 11, only on ABC 53 News Now.
Hi, folks. North Clark for Rose City Motors in Jackson, Michigan. Is your car payment too high? Well, you like the car payment that you have? Go to rosecitymotors.com, fill out a credit app right over the internet. We'll get you pre-approved, and we'll lower your car payment for you. Don't take that high car payment. You don't need it. rosecitymotors.com. We're open 7 days a week, Jackson, Michigan.
Which 3 states have produced the most current Spartans, and how many come from Michigan? The answer, 40. That's almost half the team. After Michigan, Ohio has sent the most players to MSU with 15, and Florida with 9. And now it's time for part 2 of my interview with Bobby Williams. We discuss race, Nick Saban, and play a little game of word association.
I'd like to ask you about race, and if you think, I read an article about Tyrone Willingham, obviously you know very well, and he said that he feels there is an added responsibility being an African-American head coach. Do you feel you have an added responsibility?
Sure I do, because, you know, I think it's so important that we are successful here, because I guess the spotlight will be on Michigan State, even more so now, being my situation. And I think it's so important that we're successful because I think it can create and open a lot of doors for a lot of other coaches.
Does it bother you, the ratio of African-American players in college football to African-American coaches?
You know, sure it's a problem, but, you know, it's not anything that I can do. I can only handle this situation here. I can't solve all the problems dealing with college football. I can only do the best that we have here, but there's no question it's a problem. It's a big concern, too.
So I'd like to finish with a game of word association where I'd say something, you say the first thing that pops into your head. All right? Start with Tom Izzo.
National champ.
January 1st, 2000, the Citrus Bowl.
Rose Bowl.
Ryan Van Dyke.
Winner.
Big Ten football.
Best.
Michigan football.
Big time rival.
Michigan State football.
Up and coming.
The media.
Distance.
Nick Saban.
Wish him the best.
National championship.
Michigan State football.
Sheila Williams, your wife.
The best.
Bobby Williams.
Oh, stay tuned.
Time for our last break on Countdown to Kickoff 2000. When we return, we send it back outside to the Duckett brothers, and we preview the Marshall game. But first, we take you back to school with one more edition of Football 101. Michigan State has a winning record against every Big Ten school, but 3. Can you name the 3 schools that give the Spartans the most trouble? And for a bonus, which Big Ten team do the Spartans give the most trouble to?
Mancino's Grinders. Any other sandwich is just so sub.
Feed your appetite with a Mancino's famous grinder, or a pizza covered with a special blend of 5 cheeses. It's a pizza as big on your plate as it is on taste. Visit us in Lansing, East Lansing, and Williamston.
Mancino's Pizzas and Grinders now capable of delivery, too.
Not all wireless service is the same. With some, the minute you leave your coverage area, your call drops. And before you know it, you've hit a wall. Now Verizon Wireless gives you better coverage in more areas than ever before. Get the regional rate plan with no regional roaming or long distance charges. Now just $9.99 monthly access with 30 minutes a month.
You gonna answer that?
Not in this neighborhood.
Verizon Wireless. Join in.
Hi, I'm North Clark for Rose City Motors in Jackson. Are you looking for a good used vehicle? Do you have a credit problem? At Rose City Motors, it doesn't matter how bad your credit is. As long as you're working, we will get you financed. At Rose City Motors, we have top quality used vehicles. Matter of fact, we have the nicest used vehicles in the state of Michigan. So if you're trying to find a vehicle, come to Rose City Motors. We're open 7 days a week.
Drew's girlfriend loves food. And Drew loves his girlfriend.
So you got a little junk in your trunk. There's a lot of great things about being overweight. We're sitting out here in the freezing weather, but are we cold? No.
But beauty isn't always in the eye of the beholder.
Oh, my God. You look beautiful.
Text Drew.
Drew Carey, tonight at 7:30 on the WBL.
Nice. 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 Nice.
Go ahead. Use your ATM card to pay.
Nice.
It's fast, it's easy, and now it's nice. Same ATM card, same convenience, new name.
Nice.
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 Now this is nice.
Welcome back to Countdown to Kickoff 2000. Which Big Ten schools give MSU the most trouble, and which school do the Spartans handle with ease? The answers: Michigan, Ohio State, and Iowa. Those are the only 3 schools with winning records against MSU. Michigan, 33 more wins than losses against State. The Buckeyes, 8 games up in their overall series with the Spartans. And Iowa, the surprise third answer. The bonus may surprise you too. It is not Northwestern. Yes, the Spartans have won 71.4% of their games all time against the Wildcats, but they've won 72.3% against Indiana. They're 34-13-2 all time against IU. This year, though, sorry, Coach Williams, you don't get to play the Hoosiers. Tico Duckett is second only to Lorenzo White on MSU's all-time rushing list, but he may never have faced more pressure than when his younger brother had a chance to interview him just outside the stadium.
Thanks, Steve. Here, TJ Duckett here with Tico Duckett. Now that your has-been and your records are close in hand, what are you up to? What's going on?
Well, right now I'm just watching the young talent coming out of here, and I see right now the only person that can come close to any of my records may be you. And, you know, we're going to watch that. We'll see what happens. But I always say if someone in your family can do better than you or achieve what you have achieved, that's always great.
Sounds good. What's your fondest memory of Spartan Stadium?
I would have to say my fondest memory of Spartan Stadium, I would have to always shift my season in '91 down to Ann Arbor when we beat Michigan and they were #1 in the country. That was my fondest memory of my whole career here. But in Spartan Stadium, geez, it's just beating people up here every single weekend. You know, we just beat people up. We may not have won every game, but I'll tell you, most people after the game said, geez, you guys were one of the toughest teams that we've played. And, you know, I think I felt the same way after we played. I was pretty beat up, so I can imagine they were.
Sounds good.
TJ, nice work. He's going to be busy tomorrow. Spartans and Thundering Herd. This is going to be the first meeting ever between the two green and white schools. And as the players have said all week long here on ABC 53 Sports, this will not be a gimme for Michigan State. Marshall won more games in the 1990s than any other team, Division I or 2A, has ever won in any decade. They're on a 17-game winning streak over the last season and a half, and although they lost Chad Pennington at quarterback, Marshall still returns 12 starters, including senior wide receiver Nate Poole, a Plexico Burris-type guy. Keep your eye on him. 6'3", 200 pounds. He just went bananas last year. 71 receptions, 1,100 yards, and 9 TDs. It's not going to be a gimme here at Spartan Stadium tomorrow. 12:10 the kickoff against the Marshall Thundering Herd. I want to thank you for joining us on Countdown to Kickoff 2000. I'm Steve Bunin. I hope you've had a good time. And remember, as TJ Duckett would say, we'll see you at the woodshed.
You're watching ABC 53, Lansing and Jackson.
Welcome to the Michigan Lottery Show. I'm Beth McLeod. We'll soon know tonight's winning daily game numbers. Today's midday numbers are now on your screen. Tonight's winning daily 3-digit number is coming right up. It's 8, 7, 9. Once again, that winning 3-digit number is 879. We'll now select the winning daily 4 number. That 4-digit number is 0, 2,